When she got home, she stayed outside for a minute. Elena reached her building a little after sunset. The city had grown quieter now, not silent, just softer. Traffic farther away, fewer people walking past, store lights glowing against wet sidewalks. The kind of evening where everything feels slightly slower. She stopped in front of the entrance, not intentionally. Her body simply paused, one hand still inside her coat pocket, the other holding her keys loosely. Usually, coming home felt automatic. Walk in, close the door, turn something on. TV, music, anything to fill the silence quickly. But tonight, she stayed outside. The cold air touched her face gently, her breath visible for a second before disappearing again. Cars passed behind her. A distant siren echoed somewhere far away. Someone laughed briefly across the street. Small sounds, normal city sounds, and for once, they felt comforting instead of exhausting. She looked up at the apartment windows above her, warm yellow lights behind curtains. Other people already inside, already settled into their nights, cooking dinner, watching television, living ordinary lives. And Eleanor realized something. She wasn't avoiding home. Not really. She just wasn't rushing toward it anymore. That was different. She wrapped her scarf closer around her neck. The keys rested quietly in her hand, cold metal against her fingers. Still, she didn't unlock the door. Not yet. A man walked out of the building carrying grocery bags. He nodded politely as he passed. Elena smiled softly without thinking. Then the door closed again, and she stayed where she was, breathing slowly. The street beside her reflected soft light from nearby stores. Rainwater still gathered near the curb. The city looked tired, but beautiful, in the way ordinary things sometimes become beautiful when you finally slow down enough to notice them. She leaned lightly against the wall beside the entrance, not checking her phone, not thinking too hard. Just existing there quietly between outside and inside, between movement and rest, and somehow that space felt important, because most of her life lately had been spent reacting, answering, escaping, distracting herself before thoughts could settle. But tonight, there was no urgency, no invisible pressure pushing her forward, only cold air, streetlights, and the strange feeling that she didn't need to hurry anymore. A bus passed slowly at the corner. Its lights moved briefly across her face, then disappeared. She looked down at the keys again. Small object, simple object, and yet holding them there felt symbolic somehow, as if opening the door meant returning to the version of herself that always rushed through life half awake. But standing outside, even for 1 minute, felt different, like a pause she actually chose. The wind shifted again, colder this time. Elena smiled slightly to herself, then finally stepped toward the door. She inserted the key slowly, turned it. Heard the familiar click, and before opening it, she looked back at the street one last time, not sadly, not dramatically, just noticing it, the lights, the movement, the ordinary life continuing around her. Then she opened the door quietly and stepped inside, not because she had to, because she was ready. She still went home that night. She just needed one quiet minute before walking back into her life.